Well, hello, Canadian Campaholic here, coming to you from the trailer at about 8 o'clock at night on a Monday night. It is freezing cold outside, it is windy, and I am here doing emergency maintenance. I mentioned in a video earlier that I would have to look at winterizing the trailer in one hell of a hurry. And I had anticipated that we probably wouldn't see much in the way of below zero temperatures or 0 Celsius or 32 Fahrenheit temperatures until at least late October. But my wife commented to me when I got home from work, she said, hey, it looks like it's going to drop pretty cold tonight and there's a frost warning. And sure enough, I looked and there was a good 5 hours where the temperature was going to dip to approximately 0 degrees Celsius or 32 Fahrenheit, which in a trailer like this that's not that well insulated, I'm just going to turn the furnace off here for a second, that's a big risk, and it's a case of, do you want to spend, $15 on antifreeze, and potentially have to flush the antifreeze out later, or do you want to have, a multiple thousands of dollar repair job? So let me show you what's going on here in the trailer. All right, so as you can see on the floor, I have a jug of antifreeze. This is a brand that I picked up at Canadian Tire. This is definitely one of the better brands. I'm not sponsored by Canadian Tire. I'm not sponsored by the makers of Winterproof. But all the reviews say that this is by far the best antifreeze that they carry. Some of the cheaper brands, you want to be very, very careful. Basically, I bought a giant jug of it because individual jugs were about $5. This thing, which is the equivalent of 3 jugs of antifreeze, is about $13. I was given a fitting by the RV dealer, and I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this. Let me give it some light. Let's try that again. So I was given a fitting, which you can see down there on the inlet side of the water pump. This is a SureFlow water pump, self-priming, 4-chamber pump, I believe. The white hose that you see there going down into the floor, that's the line that goes into the fresh water tank, and normally that would be attached to the side of the screen, the filter there. Yes, I realize it's white. We had a little bit of sediment in the water. Not sediment, but minerals in the water that I used to de-winterize, and it left a little bit of a calcium buildup, but the screen inside is clean as a whistle. I digress. That's the pipe there that goes into the pump. This fitting that I screwed on here, and this is all by hand, by the way, it's all plastic, is attached to this hose. Now, I had to go to Home Depot because Canadian Tire didn't have the size hose I needed, but basically what I bought for about $5 was a 1/2 inch. The interior diameter of this hose is 1/2 inch. Exterior diameter is 3/4. And this is a perfect size for that fitting in there. And basically this is, I want to say 10 feet worth of hose. It was about $5. I didn't need that much. Cut off a segment, attached it to the fitting, put it into the jug of antifreeze. I went outside and drained the hot water tank and the low point lines, and then I came inside, and you can see the cloves and the mouse traps. That's just to prevent mice. But anyway, I turned the bypass valves around. So basically what's happening here is normally the cold water would come through this pipe into the heater. The heater would heat it, and then the water would come out of this hot water pipe to go to all my hot water plumbing, my hot taps. By turning the bypass, the water will literally flow through this tube, around this loop, and back out. So you're not filling your hot water tank with about 6 gallons of antifreeze. You're bypassing it. And all I did was I switched the pump on. It pulled antifreeze out of the jug. I went into the toilet, put the water pump on, hit the pedal, and waited till the water was not running through, and it was pink, pure antifreeze. Same thing with the shower. Turn the hot water and the cold water on until all I could see was the pink antifreeze running through. Good idea to pour some, or actually run the hose so that, the shower rather, so that it goes down the drain. so that your P-traps have antifreeze in it as well. And then it was a case in my RV, because it's kind of small, of just coming here and running the cold and the hot taps again until we had pink. And I ran a decent amount of it. See how that's nice and pink? Ran it down the drain, because that'll help the trap as well. And basically, I can detach this line from the jug, drain whatever's left in the line back into the jug, and that's it. I realize this video is kind of quick and dirty. I'm out of breath. This was all done in a pinch. But again, 0 degrees for 4 or 5 hours, frost warning. It's not worth taking the risk. So this is a couple hours of time, a little bit of running around to get some tubing, some vinyl tubing, and some antifreeze. And now basically I can sleep soundly at night. Now you can still use the trailer. You know, as I'm standing here right now, I got the battery hooked up, I've got lights on, the furnace works. We could still go camping in it. It would mean, though, that if there's a continued risk of freezing temperatures at night or during the day, leave the plumbing winterized. So at the end of all of this, you know, if we do end up going, we're going camping in a couple of weeks, and if the water supply for the fill station is still turned on at the provincial park, I will probably fill the holding tank, because we've bypassed it here. And I will be completely honest with you, yes, I will probably flush all of the antifreeze out so we can use the plumbing, because now I know the actual winterization process of hooking up the bypass, not the bypass, but hooking up the fitting and the pipe and everything. That probably took me no more than 15 minutes. It was a panic because I'd had a long day at work. I was at home with my feet up, relaxing with my family. I was not anticipating running around doing this, but again, when you have an RV that is such an investment, the last thing you want to have happen is to have the plumbing break, because on a small RV like this, if the plumbing does burst, you know, it's a little easier to trace, but it's still expensive. It's a nightmare to work on. If you have a massive rig, the devastation could be absolutely huge. So normally I would come out and I would do it slowly and take my time, and I was hoping to show you everything. In a previous video on my channel, you saw me during the summer draining the hot water tank and the low point lines just to freshen the water up so there wasn't stale water sitting in there. But if you're curious, you can go check out that video on my channel and you'll see exactly how that process worked. But yeah, this is a little quicker and dirtier than I wanted it to be. I wanted to take my time and show you guys everything, but Mother Nature has a way of messing around with you sometimes, and protecting my camper was important to me. So basically what I'm going to do here is disconnect the hose, drain whatever I didn't use back into the jug, put all the paneling back together, and then clean up and go home. When we go camping, we may just leave it winterized. I'm very impressed that to winterize it, and I was a little generous with how much antifreeze I put through everything. It used less than half of that 9.46 liter jug. I'll put how many gallons that is below, but it used very little of it. If you dump the antifreeze into your holding tank, you need a lot of it in order for it to hit the minimum level for the pump. Then, if you have excess, you're dumping it all over the ground, and although it's non-toxic, it's not a good idea. You can buy bypassing kits. Camco makes a bypassing kit, which is permanent. You leave it on the line, and then all you got to do is hook up a hose and flip a switch and bypass. But really, that fitting was super easy to take off. Putting the new one on, super easy. So I'm really not too worried about it. Yeah, quick and easy fix. So anyway, we'll wrap this video up. If this is your first time viewing my videos, I promise they're not usually this rushed and frantic. But please do give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe. Hope things are warmer where you are, and that you still have some camping to do. Talk to you later.